Hello, good evening and welcome to Bilbao for the Grand Prix of Spain and round 3 of the FIM SuperEnduro World Championship. I'm Dave Moore, and can I begin by saying how good it is to have a Spanish GP back on the calendar. Third round, we've been to Germany, we've already been to Poland, we're approaching the halfway point in the campaign. And as you can see, we are after this one in a fortnight's time in Budapest, Hungary. Then we're in Serbia for the first time in Belgrade. Then we're back in Newcastle for the UK. The season will round out at Douai in France. And I'm delighted to say along with me for the ride once again is my co-commentator, Paul Bolton. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for having me again, Dave. And what a track we've got for these guys.
So we were just talking about the rounds we've already seen. A fortnight ago, we were in Riesa, Germany. What a Grand Prix this was, Paul. We began with SuperPole as always.
Yeah, Johnny going out fastest in the morning qualifyings, and then it was Johnny made a couple of mistakes, and then Billy Bolt just ran away with it all night, didn't he?
Yeah, so Johnny Walker was looking good for this until this mistake that cost him big time in SuperPole. He qualified fastest in the qualification, and yet SuperPole, it all went wrong for Johnny Walker, so he was 5th quickest.
Yeah, that one just balked him a little bit and just lost his confidence. But yeah, Mitch Brightmore's putting on a really good show, having a really good result in that as well, riding so well, so fast and clean. Yeah,
so Mitch, unfortunately his brother Ash was injured when they're coming together between the two brothers, but Mitch put in a strong performance. Also too, this guy, Josep Garcia, only his 2nd ever round of the FIM SuperEnduro World Championship, and having had a taster in the opening round in Poland, he put in a sterling performance.
Yeah, from start to finish, and like Joseph said, he wants to, getting his feet get his foot in the door, and keep that momentum going, and that's what he's done. So we're going to see even more on home serve tonight.
It was a patchy qualifying for Billy Bolt, but then he got it all together and put it right in SuperPole to take the overall SuperPole 3 points ahead. Bolt ahead of Garcia, Brightmore 3rd quickest, Eddie Carlson was 4th with Johnny Walker 5th. So the first race of the night, who else but Billy Bolt, I should say, going out just ahead of Johnny Walker to grab the whole shot.
Yeah, Billy dominating it from start to finish, causing Mitch to have a little tumble there, and then Mitch kept on tumbling all night, didn't he?
He did, but
yeah, which was unfortunate, but that is just SuperEnduro. Look, Billy Bolt is making a mistake there, and again, so everybody's making mistakes, it's just that damage limitation. Thought that race was going to develop, but it didn't. Billy just clawed his way back up to Johnny and got round him.
As Billy always seems to do. So this is the moment, Billy just going up the inside of Johnny Walker, and that was the tricky part of the track.
Eddie Carlson also tagging on the back of them two there, getting involved. Johnny coming back at Billy again, but Billy knew what was going on. But again, you can see the level that they're pushing to, and mistakes are being made here and there, but it's how you recover the mistakes and keep up the momentum.
Yeah.
Nice line down the outside there from Billy.
But momentum, plenty of it for Bolt, and he kept taking the fight to Johnny Walker.
That was it. Stall there, and Billy just back wheel Bill through there. Little seat bounce over that one, and off he pops.
Yeah, so first win of the night went to Billy Bolt with Johnny Walker in 2nd position. Eddie Carlson taking a 3rd on the Stark Future. So we were on for the reverse grid for race 2.
Yeah, and then that guy, Billy Bolt, from the back row, goes into 1st by the jump, basically. You see him just hopping into it just before that pipe turn. He just hopped his back wheel out, rode into the space that it came to him a bit, but he was there to capitalise on it.
Manny Bickler got the whole shot, but Billy soon took over. I don't think I've ever seen Billy grab the lead so quickly from the 2nd row as he did on that occasion.
Yeah, no, it was great. And again, it was good to see Manny get a whole shot and get in the mix for a bit. Thought he was going to hang on there a bit and get involved. Unfortunately, we're going to miss him tonight with a broken finger injury.
Yeah, so Johnny Walker again going well. So too Eddie Carlson. Just overtaking Tim Apollo there, or lapping him I should say. So Eddie Carlson again, 3rd place finish. So the 3rd and final race, Billy Bolt looking for maximum points, and it was maximum attack from the world champion, making the pipe look super easy. So out in front again, and it was all really about who would pick up what crumbs behind him.
Yeah, that sand turn claimed a few victims, and I liked how the riders, especially in the prestige class, were taking alternate lines to not just find that. You can see Garcia going all the way around the outside there, showing the experience from all the other disciplines he's amazing at, and yeah, bringing his class to this sport.
You've just taken the words from my mouth, Paul, because I was going to say he got the opportunity, his 6th ever SuperEnduro race.
What, I didn't see that. Did you see Johnny's front wheel nearly go in there? I didn't see that on the night. But sorry, Dave. All these things that you miss as well. It's good to see the recaps.
But with Garcia, as I say, that build, Eddie Carlson, who was on for an overall podium at this point, Johnny Walker going past the Swede. But again, I think the story of this race was Josep Garcia, even though Eddie Carlson kept having mistake. We'd said in commentary how well Eddie had gone that night, and he was Mr. Consistent, and then it just all seemed to tumble. I think it shows once the concentration goes, you know, that's it. To get focused back in again, as Bolt went on to take the 3rd and final win. But Josep Garcia, absolutely superb, and did he enjoy that?
Yeah, and a couple of mistakes from Eddie would have seen him on the podium that night as well, but it was them mistakes that cost him. And Garcia, like you've just said, you know, gaining that momentum and doing such a great job there. And here in Bilbao,
who knows?
This roof's going to be off.
We'll talk about that in a moment. So Billy Bolt on the top step alongside Johnny Walker, and a delighted Josep Garcia, who only came in, he put a toe in the water in the first round in Poland, and he's decided to stay for a couple more rounds. It would be great if we could persuade him to stay a bit longer, because that was the results for that 3rd final results. So Billy Bolt from Garcia from Brightmoor, with Dominic Oljavi coming strong towards the end. So let's then go down to Marcelina with Johnny Walker.
Out first, because it delivered very great show. It was a very close battle between you guys, but it also turned out to be a little bit painful for you. The last race crash and the cut shoulder at the podium. How are you feeling about this round right now?
No, it's good. I think we're all used to racing with injuries and stuff like that, so I'm not bad. I'm a little beaten up. I feel like I'm getting quite old now, so I'm kind of used to riding with injuries every year. So no, it's good. The track tonight as well is pretty tough, so I think there's going to be some good racing, and I'm feeling good on the track. I didn't do the fastest of laps, but I feel like I can string laps like that together every lap kind of thing. So hopefully we're going to have a good night.
Obviously, and tell me a little bit about these obstacles. It seems to be a lot of them on this track.
Yeah, so it's quite a short track. The dirt's really soft, so it's going to be all right when we go out in SuperPole, but then after all the races, it's going to get so beaten up, and I don't know if they're going to grade it. So I quite like it when it gets rutty and stuff like that, so it makes you think a little bit more. So yeah, I honestly, as tight as the track is, it's kind of one-liney because of the little S-bend into the rocks and stuff like that. But I think also a lot of things can happen on this track. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. So I think it's just staying on 2 wheels tonight and not making any mistakes.
Fingers crossed for that. Last question. I need to ask you about this transition from 250 to 450. Did it take you a long time to adjust to the new characteristic, or it was just like a very easy thing to do?
No, honestly, as soon as I got on the bike, I felt good. So yeah, there was not really much to change. We're pretty much on a standard bike, so we're still going to do like a little bit more, because I feel like the 450's got different characteristics than the 250. The weight isn't an issue. We're about the same weight, so that's not an issue. But I feel like, if anything, I maybe need a little bit more power off the very bottom, like a little bit more instant power. But apart from that, I feel like I can cruise on the track a lot easier than I could on the 250. So all in all, I'm loving the bike. Like, it's for my riding style, I ride pretty lazy and not like aggressive. So I feel like, yeah, it's a good bike, and I think in the future, I think more people will start to go to a 450.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and have fun tonight.
Thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear from Johnny Walker talking there to Marcelina. And we're just going to look at some of the highlights from qualifying earlier today, beginning with the expert class. No Europe Cup here this time.
Yeah, the youth riders here were just getting into it at the beginning. They were struggling to find the rhythm, Like Johnny was just saying, the track and the dirt is pretty tricky here. It's very, very grabby, as you saw Connor Watson there just getting a big grab from the front wheel. There's almost too much traction on the front wheel on the dirt, but the dirt's going onto the obstacles and getting a bit slippery, so you can see people going down. And that's just with the dirt being stored outside. It's wet, and then bring it in, and the moisture comes out.
Another strong performance from the championship leader Wojtek Walczak there in that. Then, of course, the junior class, and it's looking very strong again. Milan Schmuser is the man with the red plate.
Yeah, Schmuser was looking straight away after the first lap. He cleared everything he needs to do. There's no major big jumps or anything like that, but there is one gap that Billy's trying to unlock, and whether he can unlock it in SuperPole, whether he needs to unlock it in SuperPole, we'll see. But Alex Play was having a really good ride today.
Then Prestige, so very interesting in qualifying. The big news, I suppose, is the fact that Mitch Brightmore had a big tumble, which you saw, Paul.
Yeah.
There it is. In fact,
I don't really know what happened there, Dave. He kind of caught the foot peg or the skid plate and the tyres, and obviously sometimes it grips, and he was out the front door and onto his shoulder, dislocated.
The thing is, though, we're still hoping he's going to try and race tonight. Mitch is going to see if he can compete. However, Billy Bolt.
I like Billy's style over that last jump then.
So also as well, just going to point out just quickly, Dominic Ojjavi was looking very strong this afternoon as well.
Yeah.
So too was Johnny Walker. But I want to see what you think properly of this track, Paul. We'll have a look at that in a second.
Yep. Yeah, the sand sections are tricky.
Hello everybody and welcome to round 3 here in Bilbao of the SuperEnduro FIM World Championship. I'm Paul Bolton and I'm going to take you for a quick track walk with me now. So, before we talk about what's behind me now, the start, we've got a whole lot of qualifying, which is so important to get that good gate pick, which is going to be over my left shoulder, because you're going to be going into this first left turn. So let's get into that. So obviously this is the inside line. You've got to be patient sometimes, especially when it's the reverse grids in some of the races. You've got an outside line. There's a lot of space gets created over there, and you don't want to be missing out on that space, and you don't want to be getting hung up in this first turn. So after the first turn, they've got a really tricky on the corner log. So I'll get into that now and talk a little bit about it. It's a little bit lower on this side, so this is going to create some space, but then that gives you more drive down that left side. Inside line's a little bit bigger on the height of the log, so that's going to take a little bit more speed, and also it's a shorter run up, which is going straight into the all-important matrix. I mean, you can see how big these logs are. They're under my knee now. So they're going to be using all this by the end of the evening tomorrow night. And literally, this is going to get dug out deep because the track conditions here, as we'll show you a bit later on in the track, it's very spongy. The moisture's coming up out of the surface. So let's get through the matrix. Different rhythms. They're going to go single, maybe double. Then they've obviously got another single log here. So just hitting one, not taking off. And then some of the guys might get all 3 of these, maybe, depends on this transition here going over this one, but I think majority are going to be going double single as well afterwards. So what's after this? We're going into the log turn. So obviously we've just come off the matrix now, and you can see how spongy this ground is under feet. It's really spongy. This isn't the spongiest part as well. We're going to talk a bit more about that in a minute. So we've got an inside line. The guys are probably going to use this tyre on the inside here to put the foot down. That's the fastest line, but when it gets defensive and people get shunting in the races later on, you could see somebody falling over and then people starting to opt for this outside line, which is flat. And it's obviously an easy entry. So if they start to triple that, they carry more speed into this. Maybe they're going to go around the outside. It's a bit tricky. I think they're going to come in on the outside, and then I think they're going to make the way somewhere through the middle here maybe, just to get some more speed towards the start-finish jump. But before we hit that, just to take the speed out of you, these sections here where it's just like a single obstacle really do work your upper body, work the energy levels and drain you down. And remember, it's only a 7-minute race. So as the guys are hitting that concrete pipe behind me, they're going to take off up here airborne. You might get some overtakes into this left-hander, but the guys are going to land really heavy on this bit. They're going to be really taking big chunks out of this. This section could get really dirty and deep ruts, nasty little square bumps. We're going to have to see how it all develops as the day goes on. There is a little bit of a landing here. That's where they're going to try and get the back wheel to, maybe the front wheel, and then they're going to set up for this left turn going across the front of the start gate. So, small log behind me, you're going to see the guys wheelie through that. That's going to carry some momentum through it. Then they're going to set up into this tyre section. We've got 4 tyres. The right-hand side has got a little ramp up to it. That's probably going to disappear, and we're going to see that develop and get a bigger step. I think the guys are going to use this one, or maybe this one most of the time, especially for racing, because you want to cover this. If you leave this inside open, you're leaving yourself exposed for a pass. So if you go a long way around, you know, you've got to make them decisions on the go in SuperEnduro, because there is no time for messing around and taking the best chances. So, moving into these log sections, these are another section that are not too tricky. You've got the full width of the track where you can carry a bit more speed through, and it's the down and up that really takes the energy and the momentum out of the bike. So, over to the sand. So, as you can see, this log section is absolutely ginormous. Well, not that big really, but another one that really stops the momentum. You know, these little sections like that really knock the flow out of the track, and it really shows the fitness of a rider. And then you've got to hit the sand. So, moving into this sand section, there is an inside line. This is a plastic pipe. It is going to slide sideways and the sand's going to go everywhere. There's another log on this side. That one I think people are going to use, take more of an outside line. That's going to carry some momentum through the sand section and hopefully open up the next turn, which is a tricky one. So, here we are. It's just an angled log on the track. It's nothing too much, but what's going to happen is the guys are going to go for this side. That's going to open up the outside, and the guys who can get this single and maybe block just entering the next section, which is the rocks, that's where we could see some overtakes and some position changes. So as you can see, it's super boggy in this section, swampy, whatever you want to call it, from which part of the world you're watching from. But this is going to get torn up, and it's a real down with the front wheel and then up with the front wheel over the next log, and then we're into the rocks. So as you can see, this is the rock section. The logs just before it, that's where it's all going to get cut up and torn up between the races. So we might see some different line choices taken over the evening. But yeah, getting out of this rock section alive, getting through onto another lap and keeping that momentum up is going to be the key to the race. So let's check in with Josep Garcia's POV. Hope you've enjoyed my track preview, and good luck to all the riders for the evening. Cheers, guys.
Hi everyone, it's Josep Garcia, and we are at Bilbao Grand Prix, and let's see the track preview. So we start with a big double, then we have a left corner with a single lock into a big and flat tires. Then we have 2 pyramids of locks, really big. Then we have a step of 2 locks into a sand corner, left corner, double of single locks. Then we have 2 angle locks into the rock garden where you can jump off. Then we go to right corner with the 1 lock inside into the matrix where it will be technical and sure it will be different options. Then we go into the rock garden corner, tube, single tube into the finish line jump. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and see you on SuperEnduro.tv.
So these are the riders going into SuperPole tonight, starting with Toby Martin on the Stark Future machine. Josep Garcia has also qualified for SuperPole, the world champion, Enduro world champion, trying his hand at SuperEnduro. Dominic Oljavi also in the SuperPole. Can we see the real Dominic Oljavi this evening here in Bilbao? Fingers crossed. Now this was the surprise, Diogo Vieira qualifying 4th fastest, so he gets to go 4th in SuperPole this evening. And he did have some good strong performances towards the end of the event in Germany. Eddie Carlson on the Stark Future, 3rd quickest again, continuing that fine form we saw from him in the 1st and 2nd races in Riesa. Johnny Walker, who else, 2nd quickest on the Triumph. But who was fastest in qualifying and will go final, who will be the last one to go tonight, will be Billy Bolt on the Husqvarna. He has the start as the pre-event favourite, of course. He'll be last away. So these are the times. That's the order they'll be going in. Some debate between Paul and myself as to whether it's the first time we've had 2 start futures in SuperPole. I'm not too sure. We've had 2 electric bikes before, but maybe we'll find that out later on. But so Toby Martin will be the first rider out onto the track. In fact, he's just making his way out now.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit to go before he crosses over that finish line jump, and that'll start off his lap, because that's where the timing beam is. On the tyres, it's actually under the tyres, so they only need to get the front wheel over that section. So whilst they're out now, they're just using a little bit of, have a quick look at the track. They're not getting much chance to walk the track through the evening, but it's really good to see Toby out there in SuperPole.
Very good. Has the track changed much at all since you went round it yesterday?
Yeah, so we've had some people saw a few little changes, like the log before the matrix. They've moved that so it's full width of the track. They've actually taken out some dirt on the tyres before the log pyramids, as we see Toby start.
Yeah, so the clock is ticking on Toby Martin, one of 3 Brits to have qualified for SuperPole. No Mitch Brightlaw, of course, but he will be certainly taken to the gate for the first Prestige final. So it comes up.
That corner there, just after the sand section, you've got some logs. That corner is so tricky to get a good line out. But this is looking really good from Toby. He's carrying a lot of momentum through stuff. And he's looking good.
Yeah, he had his moments last year. It's his 2nd year in SuperEnduro, his 1st year on an electric bike. So here he goes across the line. And that's 38 seconds.
He's fastest.
2 seconds. Well.
Oh yeah, he's just one of them. Yeah.
But that was 2 seconds quicker than he did in qualifying.
That's good.
So he's found 2 seconds from somewhere.
Yeah. That can also be that the last qualifying was still rough, and now obviously the track's fully prepped. Or everything, all the ruts have been taken out. So watching Joseph just come over these concrete pipes, they're waiting for the back wheel to go down that concrete pipe. So you might see them not jump as high off the start.
He's trying.
Oh, big nose wheelie up over the tyres, Dave.
He is trying. You can see that as he came round off the other log and the back wheel spun round, and he is trying. Listen to the crowd. By the way, I hope you're picking up the crowd on our microphones, because they're certainly getting behind their man.
Big 1-footer out of them rocks there. He's got a nice line into the matrix. If he can do a good job in this rock turn, the foot plant onto the tyres is super important. Just big foot, left foot out. Didn't really need it. He's got over last tyres. Boom.
I think he enjoyed that.
Yeah, he did.
37.6. A couple of little mistakes maybe cost him there. But he's got SuperPole for the moment. So Dominic Oljavi, one of only 4 Prestige race winners on our card tonight, along with Billy Bolt, Johnny Walker and Freddie Gomez.
So you can see how they're opting to go low off that jump, because they want to keep the back wheel down, driving on the floor. But they'll send it afterwards on the way back in.
You can see as well the way there's not much of a flow or a rhythm to this track. It is a little bit stop-start.
It is, and also with the tyre on the front wheel especially, you've got so much grip in the flat turns, but when you land heavy off an obstacle, your front tyre grabs really hard because of the sponginess of the ground.
So here he comes.
It looked good, this. He's carrying a lot of momentum through the obstacles.
He did. I just think he lost it a little bit there, I think, on his back wheel, just going through the rocks. He lost a little bit of momentum, 38.9. Now, Diogo Vieira, a sensational lap in qualifying this afternoon. He was down and around 8th position, and he posted a lap in, boom, up into 4th fastest overall.
Yeah, go on, Diego.
Diego, go, go, go.
Oh, he lifted the back wheel right up onto the top of that. The control in that turn is so phenomenal to be able to pop that.
That was really, really good from the Portuguese rider.
Just got a bit stalled up there in the sand. He went to do the same thing, but it didn't lift like he wanted to.
Just looking at this, Paul, very quickly, can you go with a plan, or do you just, does the bike just take you where it takes you?
You know, if you could go with a plan, Dave, the times would be exactly the same most of the time, but you see people making mistakes, and that's part of motorsports. It keeps everybody honest.
So Diogo goes across, he goes second fastest, 37.7, just a tenth outside Garcia.
I think he would have had Garcia if he hadn't have stalled it in the sand there, because everything else was trick.
It was good. So Eddie Carlson is the next rider out, just making his way around to begin his lap. 37.6 is the target. Here we go. And away he goes now. Clock is ticking for the Swede.
Yeah, Eddie manualed over the tyre takeoff, if you will, for the start-finish jump.
So far so good for Eddie Carlson. Looking good, taking a nice wide line.
Yeah, he carried some really nice momentum around that bit then. This is the important bit. Can he carry out some exit speed in the rocks? Yes, he can.
Yeah, exit speed is crucial, isn't it? If you're going to be fast on the next bit, you have to be fast out on the previous bit.
It's a bit close with the front wheel then in the Matrix in the first double.
Is he going to make it inside 37.6? We're about to find out, folks. And his time is 37.3. He goes fastest, so he'll definitely get at least 1 point in his quest for the SuperEnduro World Championship. Now, Johnny Walker wants to put the disappointment of SuperPole in Riesa behind him.
This forfeit is going to get revved now.
And we're off.
Lift. Nice. He just... Was there a tyre there, Dave, on that corner, or did he just ride through a tyre?
Exactly.
Really? Yeah, keep this one together, it's going to be a banger.
In terms of traction, very quickly, Paul, is it better to have two wheels down, or you move faster with two wheels down, or better with one wheel up in the air?
I mean, you want to be feathering that front wheel as much as you can on the ground. Less drag is less drag, right? But that's a different story, isn't it?
Here we go. Here comes Johnny. And it is 35.3, 2 seconds faster than Eddie Carlson.
Yeah.
However, Billy Bolt did a 34 in qualifying.
Talking about Billy, Billy's got a rhythm here. He's going through the Matrix. He's hopping in on his back wheel to the second one, which carries the front wheel over the double. So he's not going single double. And then he's trying to trip. He's going single again and then triple. And the other thing he can do, as we see him start, is before the rocks, there's some logs, and he can actually double into the rocks. If he threads that, then it's really good time.
Go on.
He hasn't threaded the whole track together, by the way, today that I've seen.
Right. How throaty does that Husqvarna sound, by the way?
This is it. Can he? No, he's opted to not do it. Maybe he just thought it was too risky, but that section there before the rocks, he was doubling that.
35.3 is the top.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Big foot plant. This is...
Whoa! Here we go. Billy Bolt takes SuperPole, 34.7, half a second faster than Johnny Walker. So Billy Bolt continuing as he has done for the last 5 years, effectively, really, hasn't he? So yeah, just the Billy Bolt show goes on. Congratulations with Johnny Walker, but another big 3 points for Billy Bolt and Husqvarna. So he takes SuperPole. We'll hear from Billy in a second. But yeah, that was another masterclass from Billy Bolt. So there we go, folks. SuperPole completed. Billy Bolt ahead of Johnny Walker with Eddie Carlson third. So that's 3, 2 and 1 in terms of points. Garcia just missing out along with Vieira, with Martin and Aljavi. But again, the man of the moment is with Marcelena. It's Billy Bolt.
As you said, Dave, the Billy Bolt show goes on. Another SuperPole for you. How was it on this track today?
It's a tough track, really tough. Especially now it's so soft, but it looks flat. So you don't know where the soft parts are, and obviously just about everyone made a strong lap, so the pressure was on being last. But you know, I knew there was a few areas where I could take it easy, and a few areas where I was able to push just that little bit harder. So executed my marks what I wanted there. So good start to the night. 3 more to go.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcelina and Billy Bolt. As we just look back at some of the best moments from SuperPole. So this is Josep Garcia putting the fastest time in so far. Eddie Carlson on the Stark Future electric bike So Eddie Carlson putting in a time that pushes him ahead of Garcia. Here comes Johnny Walker. Johnny knows the time he has to beat, and he knows that it's a capable time of beating. So Johnny Walker looking to go inside 37 seconds. He crosses the line, it's 35, 2 seconds faster than Carlson. Billy Bolt, absolutely perfection. Beautiful from Bolt. Whoa, half a second faster than Johnny Walker.